Hello, everybody, and welcome to Scoot Friday. Noah, just in time. Literally, the countdown hit zero and you appeared.
Bonjour.
The grand reveal. How's everybody doing? Nice to see you. We've got all of our regulars. Yeah, Justin, David, Chixologist. Nice to see you
I
guys.
saw
Noah.
Ignacio now with a new name, Photo by Ignacio. Did you launch a new business? Entrepreneur.
How you doing, Noah?
I'm good. I'm good. It's getting warm in Montreal. Went for a nice ride yesterday. Maybe some people saw my picture of the stellar view that I posted on the Facebook group. Uh, but yeah, it's doing great. Yeah. It's getting warm. We are getting scooters. So yeah, living the dream. What about you?
Summer's here.
Yes.
Yeah. Good. It's been a weird spring with all the I guess not to get political on our podcasts or our live, but it's been a weird spring just in terms of how people are reacting to the season. Usually like March comes and everyone's like, oh, it's time to get scooters. And now this year March came and everyone's like, oh, scooter prices are going to double, and they don't really know what to do to that. So curious for the folks in the audience here, how are you seeing things? Are you pissed off that certain companies are trying to raise prices? Do you think what do you think is going to happen to the industry? We're all kind of guessing at this point. So we're curious to see what the audience thinks. But it's good for anyone who is also just tuning in now. Alon and I just had a long call. We were talking about the future, I guess. Also, interesting question for the folks in the audience. We're debating the future of the Apollo software stack, in particular as it relates to like the ongoing costs of developing new features for the app, right? And I think a lot of people in the audience here may be used to the app offering certain benefits. Would you be curious to hear about the features that are in the backlog, and would you be willing to give us feedback on whether you'd be willing to pay extra for something like that, knowing that we incur a very direct cost of developing these features? So the choice is, would you rather keep the app free and not really see any development or future progress in terms of the features being added, or would you actually consider paying a premium for access to specific features? That's sort of the discussion that we're having right now. Where's your head at? I know you also come from like the e-board community, and there were some pretty like negative examples of companies trying to charge for features in the e-board space.
Yes, and more precisely, if you people in the chat have straight up ideas about features you would pay for, that would be insightful too. Yeah, eBoard, it didn't go well for them. The one company that come to mind is Mellow Board. For them, it was a little bit different. Like they advertised the product with certain spec, and then when they applied they advertise certain spec, and then you realize that you need to pay for those specs. So I think it's a little bit different, but yeah, it brought them to the ground, basically, the one that I've seen before. So
Yeah, I guess in our case, we were not talking about like taking away something that people are already using and charging for it. We're talking about like, I mean, to be perfectly transparent, we're talking about continuing to invest in the app to justify the development of new features, but at some point that ongoing expense needs to bring back a return for a business, right? So one example that we've been talking about is like in-app video support, for example. So imagine a feature where you can like have a tech in your pocket. You actually can pick up your phone, open the Apollo app, connect to your scooter. The app reads a bunch of data from your scooter, so obviously the tech would know everything about you, everything about your model, what mileage you have, how you've been riding. They have complete kind of history and background on you as a rider, and you get immediate connection to somebody via video. So if your scooter is not working or you're having an issue and you don't want to troubleshoot on your own, you get access to a technical person who can answer all these questions right away. Obviously, that costs money, right? Like we need to pay that person to be there and answer these calls. Is that an example of something that you guys would be open to paying for? So ponder about that while we talk about other things. Um, Catching up with the questions. Well, question about the A9. How is it going, I suppose?
A9 is Apollo Go, so it's running really well. Maybe the question is more towards the A8 and the Piccolo, which are they're advancing. So right now we pretty much locked in the BOM for both. So the next step, the A8 is like one prototype behind the Piccolo. So Piccolo, we will proceed with the beta production. The A8, we are waiting for the new sample, and then after that, proceed with the production if we are satisfied with it. So far, no, it's moving well and it looks really well. It looks beautiful. So I'm excited for this.
And oh yeah, then people are chiming in about the economic situation. I mean, as we've said before, we are just waiting this out. We're in an overstock position, thankfully. Like we were gearing up for a big summer, which maybe is not materializing, but the upside of it is that we have a lot of stock, so we don't need to bring anything else in at the moment. And yeah, the upside of it is that we're kind of waiting out the whole tariff fiasco. Hopefully, it passes in the next couple of months. Hans has an app question. When I'm in a ride with the Phantom and take a break for approximately 10 minutes, the app stops the ride and I have to start another one in the app. Want one ride.
Yeah, I agree. Merging ride would be nice. Yes, right now, yeah, you do need to break it down. It's something that was mentioned before as well. So, yeah, I think it would be nice, Hans, to be able to maybe like select a couple ride and merge them when we see they were done in the same like time period. That would be really cool.
I guess would a pause feature just solve that?
Yes, that as well. It
Yeah.
really depends. Like the challenge, I guess, is when there's a disconnection with the scooter. But we end the ride as well. And if we pause it, yeah, I guess we would need to see. It's because we calculate so many stuff too, like the consumption that's based, like let's say per the watt hour. So like having time like with the scooter not being used would affect this calculation, but I'm sure it's possible. Yes.
Yes. Okay. So I guess noted and will be considered in the software roadmap.
Yes.
Um,
We have the great question from Chalk Geologist throwing a shade like every week here with our lack of background in automotive and motorcycling and just e-board, right? Well, there's a couple of things. I thought about this, Chao, when you wrote this last time. First of all, we do have someone in the team, like the main engineer, who's coming from Taiga, that I don't know if you guys know, but it's like how do you call that in English? It's like a water
Snowmobile.
jet, snowmobile, and water jet,
Yes,
water mobile.
Ski-Doo and
Or Sea-Doo, basically. Yeah.
Sea-Doo. Yeah, that one.
The electric one built in Montreal, really cool. So a lot of experience regarding that. And the only reason why Apollo still have the best region in the industry, it's from the e-board, right? Like that's the first thing I did when I came here. It was like, okay, we have this in the e-board. There's no reason not to have it in the scooters. So I would say there's a big advantage to that. And to the comment about VMAX, I think I will start by saying, I love VMAX. They look nice. The people from the company too are really cool too. We met them at CS, and we like Paul. But from my recollection, even if we don't have a background in motorcycle or cars, from what I remember, Paul wanted to join Apollo first. So I'll say that. And also, as far as I know, VMAX, they invested in a factory and released the model of the factory. So I don't think it has anything to do with being a car designer or motorcycle
from
background
Switzerland.
or whatever. It's a Chinese factory, at the end of the day. And now they're coming out with new models that were presented at CES. But yeah, so I mean, it's a basic frame. I don't say anything, to be honest, coming from motorcycle or car or whatever. And I'm sure Paul's going to bring a wealth of knowledge to the future portfolio. But yeah, and the fact that the scooter is a new industry too, it's kind of limiting into the people you can poach, and the fact that at the end of the day, like we are a startup as well, so go get the engineer from Toyota, or something. It's always a bit more challenging than when you're already a big established firm. But regardless, I think we've done a pretty good job with this.
Yeah, I mean, I think that at the end of the day, right, like the question comes back to the e-scooter category is so saturated, who's actually doing something genuinely new? And I don't think VMAX, like as much as we like the VMAX guys, I don't think they're doing anything genuinely new and innovative. Um, they're sort of just taking simple frames, right? Almost all of their scooters are extruded, it seems like, and putting off the shelf components in there, right? Like I think that's where Apollo's difference is, where we use very few off the shelf components. Almost everything is
And
like
the brake
down to
and
the
though,
throttle, you know,
the brake and though I think is off the shelf, and
turn signals.
turn signals, yes, and even this was like the old one, no, but they were not good, so that's not a plus one for us. But except that, the tires, and that's it.
Yeah. And like, so because Elva spent, years of his life working on the controller and the throttle and the dot to display, I guess battery cells, that's like another thing that we get
Mm.
off the shelf, right? But then, they're configured into a battery pack that's custom for Apollo. So anyway, like the point is the reason why an Apollo feels the way it feels and why it rides the way it rides is because you're not stitching together a bunch of Frankenstein parts. You're building something that's where the sum is greater than the whole is greater than the sum of its parts, right? And that's why it rides so smoothly. So we digress.
Yeah, some people love the idea of the pause feature, so definitely worth looking. And I think it would actually be easy. Um, Time's getting hotter. From Austin, I saw now that a color changing to yellow for controller temp getting hotter. Can you put a bar at the top of the app for a color in the background that change from green to yellow, then red for temperature? So we had designed like this initially to give a better idea to people, like what is even the limit, because now you have like, okay, color, it's like it's getting hot, but it's like, what is even the maximum temperature you can reach? And the idea was that when you click on that temperature, it should tell you the maximum. I'm not sure if we actually implemented it, but the bar was taking like a significant amount of space. So then we're like, okay, should we have like an advanced feature of the app that like shows more of these details? But in the end, we kept it like this. But yeah, I think at least clicking on it, it would be nice to see the bar to show where you are at. Because now, yeah, it's like, is it even warm? 85 degrees. Nobody knows. So I agree. It would be easier to monitor than just yes, turning yellow. I agree. A privacy option for the map for hiding the starts and endpoints similar to Strava. Yes, you know what? I thought we actually did that. And yesterday when I wanted to share my ride, it started from like my place. So I was like, okay. So yes, absolutely. We need to do that. I agree. And that's actually very easy to do. So we'll do that. Yes. Uh, from Chow, Apple logo with new protected turn signal. Yes. So this in the end for this Apple logo this season, it's gonna stay like the one it is now, and in the future, like we would like to like introduce this kind of turning signal on all the scooters. But the Go right now is gonna stay with this. The new feature is the Ludo mode on the Go, where you're able to discharge more from the battery. So you get the Ludo mode with a little extra boost. Okay. From Jason. Hello, my Apollo from down under Australia. My Apollo City 2022 tire valve stem broke off the other day. What could cause that? Age? Can I cheap and just squash the tire with a G clamp to access? Uh, so two things. The valve are pretty standard on those things, like to a point that I think you can even like take a car one. But yeah, you could like squish a tire. To remove the old valve, you can take pliers and just pull it out. But to pull the new one, yeah, you could take a clamp, compress the tire, put the valve, and pull it to clip it in place. That would work. Yes, absolutely. And from our friend Justin, one suggestion that I had was adding radar detection for detecting oncoming traffic from behind the scooter for safety. This is already available for cycling. I might pay for this. Yeah, this is funny because we did try before, and it's getting way better. But something that I would just like to have on my scooter and in the future is I would like to have a camera accessory, and ideally even a camera like built in the scooter, that when you put turn signal, you see it like in the app. I think that would push people to use the app a lot more, and it's just annoying when you ride and you always have to check to be safe, and it's way better than mirrors, obviously. So yeah, that would be nice. And even just radar, I did see that based, I think, on like a
Hmm.
lidar technology. Uh, that could work. The main issue we have with this is that it's like, let's say I put a lidar, I would need to put it like, let's say, on the footrest, and because I cannot put it on the stand because I'm going to block the signal, right? While let's say a bicycle,
Hmm.
you can put it behind the seat, so it's very low to the ground, and often you have like
Hmm.
the fender and the wheel getting in the way. So that's why maybe a camera with a wide lens might be preferable for this feature.
Plus, I wonder how much you can realistically read from the camera if it's constantly subject to vibration as well, right?
Yeah,
Like,
so we need to have probably at least the suspension would absorb a little bit if we put it on the main frame. But yes, you would need probably to have a stabilizer of some sort. But there's when I went to Eurobike and to the Hong Kong show, I saw some really good accessories. Cameras are getting dirt cheap and good quality now, so it would be nice to have this.
mhm.
From Ripley. Do you know when Apollo Phantom Stellar is going to be shipped to us? So right now we're making a couple of change based on the beta feedback. So we are tracking last week of June, early July. That's what we're still aiming for. And yeah, it's going to be totally worth it. All right.
David, I believe Maria is also in the call, and she just took note of that video request. So I think that will probably be added to the backlog. A lot from Handu. The Phantom 2.0 was stolen a couple of weeks ago. Provided Find My info to police and did not lead to recovery. Is it now just a waiting game for the scooter to be enabled?
Who posted that?
From Handu
And do.
at 10:43 my time. So I guess 1:43 your time.
140, yeah, okay. Yes, I see it here down. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. I can't blame the thief. It looks so good, that scooter. Yeah, the Find My, yeah, I don't know how the police, I guess if you share the location of your Find My with the police, they're gonna be able to track it. There's two things you can do. You can report it stolen in the app. In My Garage View, you click on the three dot, report it as stolen. Next time somebody's going to connect to the scooter, it's going to lock it, put the speed at 0, and we're going to grab this location. So on our side, we can do this, and on your side, yeah, Find My is your best option here. Yeah, sorry to hear that, Hindu. I'm curious, in which city are you? And was your lock cut, or you just left it outside like that? It's getting pretty wild now with thief like getting around with like the grinder, the electric. We saw a video that someone's trying to steal two Apollo Air with like a Milwaukee grinder. It's like, man, you can have the best luck on the planet, and it takes like literally 20 seconds to just cut it. It's crazy. All right. The next app, I can have feedback through your phone or Bluetooth speaker. Yes, that would be a good idea. The feedback to hear more, maybe even with a turning signal, like to hear it with the speaker on your phone. And now that we have Google Map, like even maybe like guided navigation or those kind of things, that's something I was thinking. I think in the future I would like to have some kind of basic speaker to make like things sounds better. Now our scooter beeps, right? You change gear, you put it in Ludo, turning signal. It's a classic beep of scooters. It just kind of sound cheap. If you had like and I was like test driving a car, and the turning signal were just different than the classic click 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 like this. It was like a doo 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 doo. I was like, yo, it's nice. It looks less finicky. So having like a better speaker on the scooter and maybe couple it with the phone speaker, yeah, that would be nice. Like we had on the Apollo Pro, before.
Yeah, which was a pretty big issue, right? Like in terms of the development part of it.
Yes.
But Segway, I think Segway Max was it the G2 or the G3 that had the speaker kind of underneath the neck. That was a pretty unique position for it.
The G2 had, I believe, the horn under the neck, but the
Yeah.
new G3, I believe it's an actual speaker because they have a couple different sound. It's not just the horn. So yeah, it's same thing
Hmm.
as the rest. It's getting cheaper to do those speakers, and the integration
Mm.
of it too much better. If I had to put it, I would probably put it in under the neck casing since we have so much space there, and it's easy to waterproof it. From Bobby Hayes, I just crossed 2,000 miles on the odometer. Congratulations on my Pro after 1 year. Damn, it's an absolute rock and has been so reliable. I fully expect it to make it 10,000 plus miles from where it is at now. Well, good job,
Let's
man.
go, Bobby. Let's
Yeah,
go. Bobby,
people
let
like
me know. Record a
high mileage.
testimonial. We're always looking to people to chat with people like you.
Yes, absolutely. Um, Please make a pre-order available for the Stellar in Australia. So, what is the plan match for the Stellar in Australia?
Right now we're waiting. Well, we were waiting for the production to be finalized. Now that we have some confirmations around when that is happening, I don't see a reason why we couldn't work backwards to open up pre-orders for the Stellar on the Australian side too. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say, Jason, give us maybe a month realistically, and then I think by kind of mid to late May we can roll something out.
Awesome. From Chargerologist, yeah, you could increase the voltage of the Go to 48 volt, and that lessen all that voltage sag. Indeed, it would be nice for the future for the Go. We kept it for 36 initially to have like a decent 3615 and to keep it small, the scooter. But yeah, I think the next like evolution of the Go, it would be nice to be a 48 volt. And yes, it doesn't necessarily equate higher voltage to less voltage sag, because if I put 48 volt, let's say for the same size, it would be 48 volt 10Ah, for example, versus 36 volt 15Ah. And the voltage sag is like a combination of the amperage you're using versus the
Mm-hmm.
voltage. So I have less amperage, so it's going to compensate for the same like 500 watt motor with more voltage actually. But if we can get like a 48 volt 13 or 15, that would equate to less drop in the power. Yes, that would be nice.
On the subject of like hardware changes, I'm just gonna read out a bunch of ideas, I guess, that we've been talking about, and I would love to just hear in the comments what you think are the best or like that you would value the most. Okay, Apple Find My in every scooter, yes or no? Smart BMS in every scooter, which lets you do limit charging, so like charge to 80% via the app, yes or no? Horn or speaker, like I just said. Um, an external battery pack that you can attach to the scooter for extra range, yes or no? USB-C charging from the headset. An easy swap tire. So something, how would you describe the easy swap tire that you showed me?
Oh, you can detach the rim from the motor.
Okay. And is there anything else that we've been kind of just discussing as a potential, like new feature set that's not in there?
Maybe yeah. Sorry, I'm not sure if you mentioned this one, but like the quad lock, having it people being able to update it on all models to wireless charging one, or to
Mm,
have a USB-C output to charge whatever you want to charge at the top of the scooter, and lastly, the charging port of the scooter becoming USB-C instead of whatever it is now.
yeah.
To be able to like use your MacBook charger, it would be long, but basically make it a bit more standard.
And there was one other idea that well, maybe you'll remember which scooter tried to do it, but it was a light that was positioned like in the footrest that was illuminating the rider, not the scooter. So there was like an LED that was casting a light. Oh, I think it was the Tor, wasn't it? They were trying
Yes.
to. Oh, what happened to Tor, by the way? I haven't thought about those guys in a long time.
They've been flagged on Kickstarter to be like I don't know, like fraudulent, I guess you would say. I don't know what terminology Kickstarter use, but yeah, it's. I think they have struggled with the UK. Like there was something with the when all the price went up of the material recently. So I know they still delivered a couple of Tor 2. Some people comment about that, but I think unfortunately the company needed to stop operation.
I see.
The
Okay.
light in Defender, I find it interesting as
Here you see it.
like a marketing claim. Like I could see us doing nice marketing with that. But at the end of the day, let's say I'm a car driver, right? And the idea was, yeah, a fender, a light in the fender with a mirror built in, so it's shining on the rider, but also as a brake light. I'm always wondering, like, okay, let's say I drive a
Hmm.
car and I see like the lights of the scooter. I know there's a scooter, right? Like seeing the back of the rider being red, I don't know if, like, would that make me like more careful around this rider because I can see the human more? I don't know.
Yeah, I think what I remember what the founder was saying was that it was more about increasing the overall surface area of what's visible more than relying on like a single little LED on the fender, which is
Mhm.
close to the ground as well. So I guess a lot of cars you could argue maybe don't. Well, that's why like if you flip it, that's why the Apollo beam, right, is like super popular and a big reason why people choose to go and I guess the Phantom too now because it elevates that I guess level or height of the light. So maybe
I
it's
guess
the
it's
same
the
logic,
same
but for the
thing.
rear light.
It's the same logic as people put like the brake light on their helmet or
Right, right.
things like that.
The higher the better, I guess.
Hmm.
So anyway, let us know what you think.
From David, Dave Black got into an accident with his Pro, hitting a guy on an e-bike, a massive e-bike, and bent the stem of the Pro. So he's replacing it right now. Asking if we have any trick. Yeah, heat gun, making sure to loosen the two vertical screws as well. Well, I guess horizontal screws. Sorry. And a lot of patience as the older Pro were definitely harder to remove this part. Because of the amount of Loctite and the Welge washer. Good luck, Dave. And again, you have Peter in New York to help you, worst case. Um, okay. What else? Photo and Slack group of my helmet. Vibration. That would be. One idea within the app I brought up for a while ago, but a camera within the app for safety reason to see whom's approaching from behind. Yes, having a camera like accessory or built on the scooter would be really nice. Um, okay. When is the Stellar going to be delivered in Canada? Again, late June, early July. That's what we're aiming for right now. Thus far, I only see black suspension spring is a 2.0 available with orange coil spring. Well, that's actually a great reminder because it was supposed to be orange at the beginning, and the assets are in orange too. But during beta, they were black. So actually, I'll take note of that right now and make sure to tell the right people to put it in orange. Um,
In the meantime, David's asking if Apollo would work with a smart helmet company like Laval or Lumos to integrate into the app.
we Lival keep reaching out to us, and we like it's pretty straightforward to do integration with them, but they are not responsive much. And we just did a big deal with someone in Australia, not Australia, sorry, in Dubai, and they wanted like helmet, and Lival is just like not answering them and us. But so it's very strange the communication we have with them. But yeah, I love their helmet. There's somebody at the office that has one, and same thing for Lumos. So it would be nice. Yeah, it would be nice. And I saw Mercedes launched a bike with a nice integration with those helmets and even the blue color of Mercedes, like for the turning signal. I would love that. I would love that. It's cool. We're always scared of like carrying helmet on the website because there's so many people that told us this is a liability like disaster waiting carrying helmet. But I don't know. At the end of the day, it's not even our helmet. So yeah, it would be nice. I would like to have an integration. And now you have those helmet with camera built in from
Mm.
Lival. They're expensive, like $800. It's like a motorcycle helmet, but it's pretty
Mm.
sick, right? Like you see the camera in the visor. They're so advanced. So yeah, I would like that. Um, okay. Where can I get the rear motor for my Apollo Phantom V2? That's a great question. I've seen them on Alibaba. I think if you reach out to customer service, we have an alternative
Hmm.
purchasing link available. Uh, that's your best find, best bet. Justin said yes to Apple Find My. A lot of people too. Yes to Smart Charge. If you took away wireless charging from Quad Lock, then USB-C charging, yes. Awesome. Speaking of turning signal, any further thought on sequential turn signal in a brake and dual guard or built in into the brake handle itself. I guess, David, you're referring to maybe a nice integration of buttons for the turning signal, rather to have them on one side for the right, one side for the left. We haven't worked on that, to be honest, just because of the throttle. Like, it's something I'm not ready yet to touch again after everything that happened before. Uh, it's you finally have something stable. And if one thing, the other brands now are asking for to use those throttle, but I
Hmm.
agree that the turning signal, it would be nice to have it on one side, and the logical place to put it would be on the brake handle. But it's such two critical piece of components, the brake handle and the throttle, that for now, no. But I agree with you; it would be nice to have a better ergonomics for it. Um, BMS for charge and Apple Find My function would be good. How expensive is the smart BMS charging? To whatever percentage, it really depends. Smart BMS, it's getting down the price. When we started, the smart BMS was maybe like $50 up cost, and $50 on the BOM is massive for something that basically just offer that. It's going down now. It's, yeah, like maybe half of that. And it depends. The big up cost doesn't come necessarily from the BMS. It's the integration with the controller that you need to do, the communication protocol, and, like, surprisingly, just like I guess, adapt the MCU to be able to read that and shoot it with a Bluetooth to control it.
Hmm.
The big up cost, the pushback is coming from our controller partner. Yes. So that's the thing. But
Yeah.
seeing now that Segway is putting it in all of it, and the Navi as well, like big players, it's bringing down this cost tremendously.
And in the
Is-
meantime, I think a lot you basically found the solution, which was a charger that effectively accomplished the same thing, right? So a
Yes,
charger that lets you limit the charge to 80%.
yes, absolutely.
Stay tuned.
Limit the charge and limit the speed too of the charging, which is not possible with the smart
Hmm.
charger. You just select 80%, 90%, 100%. But the charger, we found you can select, like, even the rate of the charging from 1 amp to 5 amp. So obviously, the slower the better. So that's interesting. Um, with Apollo 360 lighting, I feel that lighting the rider is unnecessary. Apollo scooters are bright as heck already in the Pro and Phantom. Absolutely, absolutely. Um, okay, I want to test ride Apollo Phantom 2.0. Can I test ride anyone in Montreal or Toronto or New York? I believe Repair and Run have units that you can test, right?
Uh, on and off, yeah. I would say best to give them a call and just see if they have something in stock, and then if they do, you should swing by.
Um, yes. Attachable battery for range, please. The Seg cough, wake off as the thief have their, yeah. So Segway now, they can have their battery that can be mounted on the neck. I hope it's going to be better than the ES2, which we were selling at Apollo when we
Yeah.
started. And that was basically all my weeks just replacing those connectors. Yes, we found I think, an elegant solution to do it. That would be on future model. There needs to be an integration with the wiring harness. Like, I would like for the customer to just be able to put the support and the battery, and the electronic is already built and optimized for that. But yes, offering extra range like this is just like a beautiful accessory, because, well, on one side, to be honest, like, margin is kind of good on those things, and on the other side, it's just, instead of people changing and upgrading their scooter to get more battery, you just
Yeah.
buy this battery and put it on. So I
It's
think it makes
modular
a
like
lot of
that.
sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay. What else? What else? What else? What else?
I think it's about it. 5,000 miles on e-scooters. Chexologist, that's crazy. 5,000 miles on an e-scooter. Good for you. Um, well, any final words of wisdom?
Yeah, some swag for Apollo would be nice. Indeed, we just got the hoodie for the team for the foundation series, and the other one are in the container coming. So I like good merch, so that would be nice, more of this merch. And now, any last word? What is coming? We recorded pretty interesting videos showing, talking about the different brakes on a scooter, which you're all familiar with. I think something that you might find interesting, though, is that I switched the signal of the mechanical brake handle with the signal of the throttle to show you that we basically have throttles built in our brake handle, and that's why the regen is like phenomenal even with the mechanical one. So in this video, you're really gonna see like, okay, like those brake handles are basically throttles. So that's coming out soon. Yeah, with all the new scooters that were mentioned at the beginning, either the Stellar, the A8, or the Piccolo, well, you're gonna see videos soon and everything. So I would say keep an eye open for this. What about you, Match? Any last words?
Get outside and start riding. Summer's short. Waste no time. And record those rides so we can see.
Absolutely.
Cool. Okay. Oh, well, thank you as always for everyone who tuned in. Thank you. And ride safe. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
Thank you. Bye-bye.